So, BlaXit family, BlaXit family, BlaXit family. Greetings. I hope you're with us today. Apologies for the change of time. I had an impromptu meeting, so I had to do it. So I literally just finished and just jumped on. So forgive me for my tardiness and rushing to do it. I just literally finished and jumped straight in front of the camera. And so just like to say thank you to people who have been waiting. Places We Born, Bijou Noir, and Biomina 60. There are my brothers, sisters, blessings from my ancestors. Yes, thank you so much. So there's more people watching now. That's great. Now I want this to be a program where we all join in. So I need to share the stream. And so if you've not watched BlaXit before and this is your first time joining us on a live stream, welcome, welcome, welcome to BlaXit. Oh, thank you, Tina Marie from California, and Abundant Sunflower. Thank you so much. So basically, many, I think it's Mentaba. I might have said it wrong, so I'm sorry. But basically, one of the things, hi Jay, one of the things that I want to talk about today is that Africa is born in us. It's really important that we talk about this subject because I think we need to dispel some myths. And I saw a comment today, actually, in one of the comment sections, and you know, I thought it was really, really a really strong comment. And they said that Africa is my bloodline, and no one can take away my bloodline. And then I also want to talk to what the president said during the meeting. Now, last week I didn't say as much as I wanted to say, but this week I can go into obviously more detail. And Judah One, you've been here with us from day one, and we appreciate your support. Thank you for always being there. And Earl, greetings from Philadelphia, and also Tuko as well. Thank you as well, Pamoja. So yes, so I want to talk to this, and I haven't got too long today. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you, Cherno Sese. You know, I know a lot of Sese's here, and I also have another friend called Cherno Gage, and he's a prolific poet. So greetings. So, like I said, today, if you haven't watched BlaXit before, our family, BlaXit from England. So Brexit was going on, and so Brexit is when England was coming out of Europe. And, you know, it was heightened racism, heightened discrimination. Not that it wasn't there, it was just became more pronounced. And so at that time, we realized it was time for us to get out and go back to Africa. So they have Brexit, we have BlaXit. And so that was where BlaXit really started from. And we first came here when it first started to really ramp up. So 2011, and we came here permanently to live in 2019, my family and I, and we built our family home here, and we love it here, and we've been trying to help other people to come and to establish themselves and to be a part of the society here as well. So greetings from France, Kansai, Royston. Hey Royston, you're in St. Vincent. Hey, you're in the sun. Nice to see you. I haven't heard from you for ages. I hope you and the family are well. Game Action. Hi, greetings to you as well. And love to travel with Wave. Thank you. And Issa Salojalu as well. So I'm going to get to the topic at hand. So I just wanted to give you a brief introduction as to who we are. So my son, who is 10, our son, Kafre, say hi, Kaf. He's here. And also our husband, my husband, Adrian. Gambian name is Hatib Kujabi. My Gambian name is Nyancho Kujabi. And so today We're waiting for an update on Dr. Cambon. As soon as I get more information, I will let you know. Obviously, that was quite tragic. We've lost another great hero as well, which was the ex-president of Zambia, also yesterday. So that was pretty sad as well. So I think that we're going to try and raise some money to help Dr. Cambon. I think I put it on the community page. I'm just going to have a quick look to make sure that I did. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go to the BlaXit community page, and the BlaXit community page is on the YouTube channel. You slide across the top till you get to community, and then you'll see where it says all of our posts. And we regularly post this. You'll know when we're going live, what the subject is, and what time. But let me just share the StreamYard with you so that you can join me, because this is going to be a very interesting discussion today. Oh, my computer's been slow. Copy to clipboard, copied. Okay, what's here? 1 second. Oh, here we are. All right, I'm just going to paste this so that you can see the StreamYard. I'm also putting it in the chat so you can cut and paste it from there also, especially via your phone, so you can join the discussion. So the discussion that we posted, if you didn't see it, let's have a look. If I can show you the post. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, my phone's being a bit slow. But it basically said that Africa is born in me. Yeah, I wasn't born in Africa, but Africa is born in me. And I want to talk to that sentiment. It's very, very important for us. Okay, so yes, hailing from Burkina Faso, which is the place of Thomas Sankara, and also Malidoma Patrice Thume, yeah, who I had the pleasure of meeting, great author of the book of Water and the Spirit. If you haven't got it, go read it. It's a great book. I read it about 3 times, and I met him about 3 times also. So yeah, he's a great man. So so don't worry, you'll be back soon, Dee. I'll see you, Dorothy. Yeah, you'll be back soon, hon. Yeah, we miss you too, but don't worry, you'll be back soon. You've got so much to come back to. So you're watching from Germany. I've got Adama here and Zena Warrior Queen. Who else have we got? Amina. Hi, Amina. How are you? Rise yourself up as well, Queen. So, yep, we got Cafe jumping in there. Right, so Cafe, you can see him. Okay, okay. Be careful, please, yeah? Well, you don't hurt yourself. So, right, let's jump straight into the topic. I want you to join me online. So there's a stream right there. I pasted it into the comments so that you can join me. I'm going to paste it again into the comments. Don't leave me here. Okay. I'm going to paste it again so you can join us. So don't be shy. Right, so I'm going to talk about it. So I'm just going to now, right, I posted the link again. So I want to talk to, you know, people that aren't born in Africa. And I want to talk to the fact that sometimes, I think there are some issues around identity. So I'm going to talk to the aspect of the automatic aspect of the automatic citizenship campaign. Now, the automatic aspect talks to the fact that you are automatically considered an African. Kath, sorry, Don, can you be quiet for me, please? Thanks. Right? What I'm going to talk to is the fact that we are automatically African, and that's why I put that poster out, and that is why that was the subject of this live, yeah, is because I've been called many things. And I was looking recently at an article in which I was called Black British. And you know what? For the longest time, because I've been here so long, I know it sounds ridiculous, right? When I read it, it looked odd to me. And I had to really do some self-thinking, some soul searching to think, why does it feel odd to me to see it? Yeah. And then I realized there's nowhere called Black Britain. Yeah. And my screen name reflects the name given in one area of study degree during the against African. Okay, so like I was saying, so I thought to myself, hang on a minute, there's no place called Black Britain. So how can I be Black British? Can someone explain this to me in the comments, please? Is there any place called Black Britain? Do you know of anywhere called Black Britain? You're welcome, a boiler. Yeah? Do you know of anywhere called Black Britain? Amina says no. You can join me online, don't be shy. I would like you to join me. And anyone else who's here, please. Oh, Peter Tosh. Yes, I'm going to talk to that as well. Peter Tosh says, no matter where you are, as long as you're an African, as long as you're, sorry, Black, you are an African. Yeah? Thank you, Peter Tosh. Annette Forbes says no. Judah No says no. Linda Moss says no. Beautiful family sending love and blessings. Thank you. Cherno says no. Gamma Action says no. So everyone's saying no. I don't know anyone called anywhere called Black Britain. So I was called a Black British. So your identity is made up of more than one component. Your identity is made up of your heritage, your ethnicity, your nationality, and your origin. All right, we've got someone joining us. Hang on, I'm going to add you in, Miss P. Okay, so you're added to. I've unmuted you. Can you unmute yourself? Miss P.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. So, first question. You heard of anywhere called Black Britain? I've been called a Black British recently in some media outlets. So, I wanted to know, have you heard of anywhere called Black Britain?
Not really. I mean, I live in Britain and we're called Black British, but these days more people are associating themselves as Africans wherever they come from, wherever they live around the world. So Black Britain, I don't know. Less associated with that.
So, like I said, I was reading something. So this is a children's book. I often read children's books. Yeah, you might say, Juliet, why? Because sometimes they make things more simplistic and easy to read. And so this book was given to my son by Desita Gray. So Desita E. Gray gave this to Caffrey, and it's called The Songhai Empire. So I was reading this book about Africa and, you know, our origins and the various different empires and the areas that they covered. And this is pre-colonial influence and also post-colonial influence. And okay, so Tuka said, no such place exists. It only exists in the misguided Black people's minds and their liberal friends' minds. Okay, so Ms. P, what do you say? What do you think about, I said that it doesn't matter where you're born, yeah? As long as you're a Black man, yeah, you're an African. That is what the president of the Gambia said. And he said that no one can take our Africanness away. That is what the president of Gambia said to us when we went to meet with him in the State House. So, like I said, I wasn't born in Africa, but Africa was born in me. So this is what today's topic is about how we identify. And as you know, the automatic part of automatic citizenship is based on our identity and who we are and what we relate to and how we should be related to. So what say you?
Yeah, I agree with you because basically my father is from Jamaica, and I know from a young age he told us that he always identified himself as an African. And he was old enough to have been part of Marcus Garvey's, what was it, the youth? Uh, he
And
was
I,
part, yeah, and he
Mhm.
was planning to go on the Black Skyliner. He was saying to us, but that fell through. And he always motivated us, always made us feel that we were Africans. He was old enough to have grandparents that were slaves, but they instilled in him his Africanism. He always felt that he was from Africa, even though he was born in the Caribbean. So I've always felt a close connection as an African. And being born in Britain, I never really felt I belonged. I never ever felt that I was British. And that's why I've been following you, because I think BlaXit is very important, because we need to connect with our ancestors. We need to go back home and feel connected and have some kind of identity. I think that's important. So,
Yeah, yeah. Go
yeah.
ahead. I'm just going to move over, right? Because no. It's not me that's listening. It's Seth that set it up. So he wasn't here when he said it. No, I could just move over because you can join us. No, the camera's on the computer. I can move it over. You ready? I'm just going to reposition. No, it's computer. You just need to turn it.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. And I'll change this.
I'm sorry I didn't come to you guys in April when I was over
No,
there.
it's all right.
But yeah, so, as you say, it's about how you feel. You don't have to be born in Africa, but you need to have a sense of identifying with people that you can relate with, feeling your ancestral roots. That's important to me, I think. I believe that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, and I think at this moment in time there is a consciousness, an
Yeah,
awakening in consciousness going on, and it's important. But it doesn't. It can't just go on in the diaspora or outside of Africa. This awakening has to also happen in Africa. It has
yeah,
to happen in Africa. Yeah, because um, we have to have like a sensitization. What do you think? Adrian, introduce yourself. Now you're here. Adrian's now just joined us. So no. I'm done. I want you to talk.
Go on the floor.
No, why for you?
Yeah, okay.
It's the usual wife stuff. Come on.
Greetings, Blacksit family. Greetings, sister. Who is on you?
Miss P.
Oh, greetings, Miss P. How are you?
I'm fine. I didn't actually think I was gonna actually be live. That's why I was in my bed, so I've come out of my bed and put on some clothes. But yes, Adrian and Juliet, I'm forgetting your new names or your sort of like,
Yancho and Hakeem.
yes. So I really love following you guys because it makes me realize how important it is for us to have an identity. And being Black British, you don't. I mean, being a Caribbean, I always felt that, as I said, my father always instilled in us because, he was a Garveyite and he was very much about recognizing and accepting our roots and where we came from. And I was really proud of him for that. And when he told me about his childhood and how he sort of like joined the Garveyite movement and he wanted to go back to Africa, that always impressed on me and I always remembered that. And that's really I want to come back to Africa. I was out there in April. I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to come and see you in the Gambia, but my partner's from the Gambia anyway. So we're looking at
Oh, that's
coming
great
home.
news.
Yeah. So I'm taking myself off the camera.
No, it was good
So,
to see you, and thank you. I'm sure we'll see each other again. We're here,
yeah.
we're not going anywhere, so other
Oh,
than for short breaks. So yeah, definitely. Age, what are you going to say to, what the president said to us, that no one can take our Africanness away? He said that as long as you're a black man, no matter where you come from, you're an African. What do you say to that?
Big up Vision or well, jump in on the live when it comes. Yeah, the president, I just have respect for the president, I mean, I think he understands where we're coming from. And sometimes, as you know, changes always come with certain conflicts, but change is a must. I mean, many people have started this before us. BlaXit just come and doing a part. But many people have journeyed this journey, trying to wake up Africa, trying to make changes for the betterment of our people. So this been going on for a long time. But what I'm seeing now, I'm seeing a great influx of our people want to come home, because people are fed up, completely fed up of living in the West and being treated like underdogs, to be honest. And now they are returning home. And it's a process. And I mean, it's not just for the Gambia, but it's for the whole of West Africa, for them to really looking into how they're going to welcome us back home. I know Ghana had gone ahead, and Ghana started making steps towards that, Sierra Leone, different African countries. But it got to come to a time where all of them open back up to us, because we've been shut out for a long time. And you know that some of them thinking that they're going to be a large influx of black people coming to overpopulate the country. It's not going to be that. As a matter of fact, I don't even think that 5% of black people really want to come back to Africa. And we got to be realistic. And we got to be real. You understand? Those of us that are really coming back here to Africa are us that want to see change. Us that have the love for ourselves and the love for Africa, why we really made that effort of coming back here. But it's long in the waiting for these changes to happen. And over 400 days, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but we have to keep fighting and we have to keep pushing. We get fight every day, but we have to push past it. Because as you know, when you want to progress, there's always some people that are going to be anti what you're doing. And they will go to any lengths just to stop it. Sometimes I don't know why. What's the reason behind it? But it's just how it works. It's not going to change. People always there to try to pull you down.
Yeah.
People always there trying to distract you from where you want to go. And sometimes there's nothing no meaning behind it. But they just want to do it just to stop everything. Stop making things possible. And sometimes people that look like us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's people that look like us, and sometimes it's people that sit down and eat with you and drink with you.
Yes.
Sometimes they're the very same people trying to pull you down. As Bob Marley said, your worst enemy could be your best friend. Your best friend could be your worst enemy. Now we can see the words of Bob Marley playing out in the face. Because when those songs was going around, we were young. But now we're grown up now, we realize what Bob Marley was saying. You see? And that's what put us in a position where we lose trust in each other. But what I'm saying, we're going to keep pushing. We have now met His Excellency, Adam Barrow, and he listened to us. He even quote Peter Tosh to us. So you know that he's listening. And he watch our programs.
He watches BlaXit.
Yeah?
He could be watching right now.
If the president of the country welcome us home, who is the others to deny us? We get that welcoming from the president himself. He even said to us, thank you for choosing Gambia out of all the other 54 countries of Africa. Thank you all for choosing the Gambia. And he give us his welcome. So whether some people like it or not, we're going to be coming home and we're going to be working together.
Yes.
You know, we're the only race that keep fighting each other for no reason.
No.
It's absolutely crazy. We're just fighting each other for no given reason. Some people upset over a word automatic. It's just a word. You know?
Yeah, but no, people are, it's almost like there's like an elitism around the African identity. Like, you're not in the club. You wasn't born in Africa. You're not in the club. But we've got to remember that we're born of Africa.
It doesn't listen.
And so that is our bloodline. That is our heritage.
It doesn't matter where we're born.
That is our origin. Listen. Doesn't matter where you're born. As
you have, let me make it so simple in layman stuff.
Go on then.
Benachin is Gambia, one of Gambian national dish. Yeah? Everybody love Benachin. It doesn't matter if you cook Benachin in Australia. It's still a Gambian dish. You understand? It doesn't matter if you buy Heinz baked beans in Russia. The source still remains the same. So it doesn't matter where we were born. We're still African. Nobody have the power over where they were born. You understand? But you still have the power to know your identity. And our identity is Africa. We read our history. But to be honest with you, it's only a few people shouting nonsense on social media. But when you all come home and you all go to the villages, you realize that the villagers will tell you stories. Stories, you know, about slavery. Some of them will tell you stories about what happened in the village when the white man came. So forget those people on the line just going with the negativity. When they're here on the grounds, people don't have time for all that foolish nonsense. You know what I mean? When they go and visit the villages, you sit with the imams, you sit with the alcalos, you know, you sit with the VDC, the Village Development Committee. They sit down and they tell the stories. Like when I went into Nemakunku a few days ago, I sat with the alcalo, and the alcalo said, yes, if Africans are listening to Kwame Nkrumah back then, we would have never in this position today, talking about citizenship. Because Kwame Nkrumah had laid it out, and they ended up going to kill him. This was Alcalo that bringing the history. He himself used to live in England. And he said Kwame Nkrumah was just hundreds of years ahead of his time. So that's why people could never have understand what he was saying. He said this call for citizenship now should have been dealt with years ago, where Kwame Nkrumah was talking about us coming back home. You know? But at the end of the day, we're here now. We're here now. And the more of us come back, the more of us go into the villages and make ourselves known in the village. Learn the culture. I tell you, the alcohol them be willing to teach you the culture. Forget about some of these people online making them noise. Some of them don't even live in the country. But when you come here, you realize the atmosphere is different. Come home. Come home. Let's sit. The president himself give us a warm welcoming. And that's the president. He's the head of state.
Exactly.
You don't have to worry about no one else. The head of state gave us his blessings and his welcoming.
Exactly.
Yeah? And he said it doesn't matter where you were born as long as you're black, man, you're an African. So no African government could deny you the right of coming back home.
Yes.
You understand? But obviously there are processes, you see, and things will change. The problem I was saying, we have taken our eyes off the ball when we was fighting for a lot of things in the West. Many of us wasn't fighting to come back home. And that's the problem. You know, part of why we was fighting, we should have still fighted and left the doors open. Leave the doors open for us to come back. Because you're only going to be strong in your own country. You're never going to be strong in the white man country. You know? And coming home is important for us to come home. You have a right. It doesn't matter what people say, talk, whatever nonsense. You have a right to come back to your ancestors' land. No continental African is more African than you. You share the same ancestor, the same DNA as them. You understand? It's just that some of them just forget their history and need to go and relearn it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need to go and relearn their history. And every other race upon this earth knows their history.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you see they preserve and have race loyalty. Mm-hmm. We don't have race loyalty. And that is our biggest problem. You know? We set out to keep tearing each other down. But as I say, the unity is coming.
Jamilia?
Yeah. So forget about what you hear people saying online and all that. When you come home, the local people, they're pleasant people, they welcome you. You know, I mean, today, when even my electrician, Gambian, he said he went on to WhatsApp Gambia, see all the negative comments. And they tell me, Adrian, you all don't even worry about them. Don't worry about them, you're all here.
I didn't say the media outlets.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, people would have seen it anyway. But negative comments being made, and it don't make no sense. Because we are one people. You know, it's
Jamia.
So, no matter what media Josie.
No, Jamia said.
Yeah.
Jamia, not the media.
I know. No, you're also about media.
Yeah, that was before, yeah.
But it's out there. Everybody's seeing it. You can't hide it. So,
no, I wasn't trying to hide it. I was just not mentioning any specific media outlet.
It doesn't matter. It's there. They put it out there. They put the story out there.
Husband and wife, tittle tattle. Yeah. Hey, I say no, he says yes. I say no, he says yes.
It's been out there in the media. The media is already out there. People
I know. But you know what? I don't feed to the negativity. I just I'm not.
No, but it's there. And we might not feed to it, but it's there.
Yeah.
And if it's there, the way how we come across, you might have to address some of it.
Jamelia, unmute yourself, please. And
but let somebody else speak.
Gina, welcome. Gina, welcome.
Hello. Greetings.
Greetings. How are you, sis? Sorry about the wait.
Very well. No, you're completely fine. Sorry if it's loud. I'm actually in the Gambia. I'm at the Tamala Resort. Out here kicking it. Black owned, just throwing it out there. When you come to Africa, Black owned. That's what we do.
Nice.
So let me tell you what happened to me. Yes, ma'am. Everything is good. First time I went to the quote unquote beach here, put my feet in the water, hands in the sand, and I just start crying. Super emotional. I prayed and cried again, you know, just to know that this is where our ancestors' bodies got snatched, you know, involuntarily, but I'm here voluntarily, making atonement and paying homage in my own personal way. So people have to understand, for the descendants of slaves, this is spiritual for us. Yes. People look at these YouTube videos and think that we all here trying to party. Like, everybody's not here on that. Some of us are in deep reflection every day, and we might party too. Don't get me wrong, I'm partying right now. But at the end of the day, we're connecting with our roots. Who told Gina to hop on with me? She trying to steal my shine. Quit trying to steal my shine, sis.
No, it's 19. Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, yes, it's in the morning. So, yes, sir. I mean, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. We will be at the soul food joint. They're having the ceremony. So I got my white outfit today. We'll all be dressed in white and just, you know, making atonement, reflecting, being together. And I really just want to put it out here that I am a Garveyite, and Marcus Garvey told us to, uplift your mighty race, regardless of religion. So for people who think that reflecting and making atonement with the ancestor is ancestry, like ancestor worship, and you can't do that as a Christian or a Muslim, stop. I'm a Muslim, and I respect my ancestors all day, every day, and nothing is stepping on my religion or my Pan-Africanism. So you can do this. You can reflect and pray and make homage to the ancestors without necessarily stepping into another dogma or another different type of spirituality. Just being Black, just being a descendant of a slave is spiritual in itself. So that's not something you can walk out of regardless of what your religion is. So don't mean to pop off, but I just had to throw it out there.
Thank you. Tomorrow we're going to Busura.
Okay.
And we're going to the village there. They're having a ceremony for the lights, the solar lights that were donated as a result, actually, of our connecting with a company there that was relating to the borehole. So after we did the borehole, they went to go and give back again, which is amazing. And they went back and they gave solar lights. So it shows you that when you do good, good follows you. And we can continue this. I want this cycle of altruism, this cycle of philanthropy. If everybody wants to copy what BlaXit is doing, then copy what BlaXit is doing. But copy the good stuff that BlaXit is doing. Yeah, giving back to the villages, helping, the Black Books Project. Go out. Go and, help with the villages with the flooding. Today, the cleanup project started in Nemakunku in preparation for the rainy season. So all debris would be removed so that the pumps can work. And that is a big project for any village, let alone one that was already flooded and impacted by the floods of last year and still recovering from that damage. So, we supplied 50 rakes, wasn't it? 50 rakes and 50 pairs of gloves. And the cleanup started, with lots of people today. So I would say when you come, be prepared to help. Be prepared to give back. Come with the right attitude as well, because some people are coming, and I'm not going to say any particular region or whatever, but some people are coming, but they're very held tight and very patriotistic or patriotic
to where they're coming from.
To where they're coming from, as opposed to being African. Yeah, and so this causes a split, a rift in a Pan-African line of thought. And it's important, I think, for us to really look into what do we identify as. Gina, what do you identify as?
A Black man is an African. As long as you come from Africa, my origin is African. So I'm going to be African first. And you know what? You hear that when they call us out, they call you African, American, African, Haitian, African, you are African. You could doubt it. It's funny you said that. I was on my channel on the last conversation I had. There was a Haitian, and my parents were Haitian. So he came on and he was saying how
the parents were born in Haiti, the Africans born in Haiti.
They were Africans born in Haiti. Exactly. But that being said, he mentioned the fact that, because his parents were born in Haiti and he was born in Haiti, that he's Haitian and his loyalty is to Haiti. And I said to him, because I have a lot of Haitians that reach out to me offline, emails, messages, or, I'm in Haitian groups and they'll remind me that that my parents were born in Haiti. And so I said to him, these are the places that they took Africans to. You were, before they took you off those ships and put you into America or into Jamaica or into Trinidad, Haiti, Britain, wherever they took you, you were Africans. We were all Africans. Just because they sat us on those pieces of earth does not remove who we were and who we continue to be. And I'm like, so for me, it's kind of, to me, I said to him, to me, My fight is for Africa. My strength has to go to the root of the tree. I know that there are branches and there's fruits. The branches may be the Caribbeans, America, UK, wherever we are, you know, and there's the fruits, you know, but the root, if I want to really help the tree, I mean, in essence, the branches, the fruit, everything in it, I have to go to the root. And the root is all of ours. The root is for us all. That is something that can't be, you might be a branch that was born on the continent and you are continental. You might be a branch that was born in Haiti. You might be a branch that was born in America, the UK, Jamaica, wherever you may come from. But the root is our mother, all of our mothers. Now, I'm not going to fight about my mother. I decided that already. I'm no longer fighting with my siblings about my mother. My mother is my mother. She's going to continue to be my mother. You can't take that away from me. Now, you may not appreciate the fact that mama is calling me home right now. You might be a little jealous. You might be a little confused. You might feel like, why is this person getting this much focus right now? But you got to keep in mind, I've been away from mama for hundreds of years. This is nothing personal. She's all of our mothers, and we're going to share her, and we're going to bless her, and we're going to take care of her. We're going to do this together. And that's really my message to my brothers and sisters on the continent, because I know what it is. You know, it's that thing that they conditioned us to believe. It's that scarcity. They fed us this thing called scarcity, where we don't want to share the table with too many people. We don't want too many people eating off that plate. So they made us think we didn't have enough. While they're stealing everything that we have and taking it all away, they're making us think there's not enough room for ourselves. But don't believe them. And, you know, and I know there are many, many brothers and sisters on the continent, because they're represented on my channel. I see them on your channel in the message section, and they're always giving love. And I know that their voices are what matters. Their voices is what I'm running to. I mean, I'm not going to the continent for no other reason other than the fact that mama's the root, and I have brothers and sisters that are fighting for me to come there. And I'm not being called for nothing. We're not being called for nothing. If there's a call and you see so many people responding to that call, understand that it's for something. So stop getting in the way. I understand that we're all conditioned to be afraid to share. Keep in mind, this is not personal. Some of these people, this is just something that they would probably be, you know, doing to each other, but now there's an outlet to do it to. And that's why I'm not personalizing it anymore. I understand that this is how we were conditioned to be as a people. We were conditioned to be afraid to share. And so, you know, I welcome, you know, my brothers and sisters, you know, that those that are ready for me and those that are not. I love you all.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. We're just trying to go through the comments. There was one person that said, you know, respect where you were born. It went really quickly, so I kind of missed it. But it was something like to respect where you were born and like value your origins. And I think it depends on where you were born. You know, I was born in the UK, and where I faced, you know, two things: a lot of racism, a lot of discrimination, and then people talk to me about opportunities. But I worked hard for everything, and my parents worked hard for everything that I had there. Nothing was given, and nothing was granted. Said, oh, but you had free healthcare. No, we didn't. We paid national insurance contributions for that. You know, oh, but you know, your education was free. No, we paid for that in our taxes. You know, and the fact is that I think there's a lot of misnomers about living in these so-called developed countries, because what we've forgotten is that it's our ancestors that made it so. It was slavery and 400 years of free labor based on our lives, our deaths, our torture, and the most heinous crimes of humanity done to our ancestors, from hanging them in trees, whipping them to death, right, raping them to death, making brothers and brothers fight to the death. Some of the most wickedness, making them work from morning till morning in cotton fields, right, beating them, distressing them, the most terrible psychological abuse you could ever face. You know, and then they want to say about what? Like it's a privilege. How would you want to live with that blood on your hands, every time you pass a note, you see the person that is responsible, whose family was responsible for the enslavement of your ancestors. You know what kind of psychologically that does to you. It's not empowering. Ask me, am I proud to say I was born in England? The answer is no. No, why would I be? Why would I be? When I know when I walk into a banking institution, they were institutionally responsible for part of the enslavement of my ancestors. When I walk down the street, I know that half the people on there, they were one of the fundamental families that are responsible for the enslavement of my ancestors. Do you know what it feels like to live in that environment, and then you can't really do or say what you want because you're surrounded by their enemy? Do you know what it's like to have to be deaf and dumb? And when you do speak out, you know your life's on the line. You know, I don't know how Sasha is, but I wish her well. I don't know how Obadali Kambon and his family are. I wish them well. You know, there are so many, you know, I mean, come on, look at Magafuli, he's passed. Yeah, we all know what happened to him. Every single person that turns against the system, you know, and it's coming hard and fast right now. It's no joke. It's no joke. So when people like us put ourselves on the line, right, in order to progress things for our nation, right, to say, look, we need that nationhood. We need that building of our identity. Yeah, and then we have our own people coming against us. You know, people even tried us to stop us from going to the State House to meet the president. That's how far this thing goes, with lies and allegations.
But did you see how the energy behind you, the spirit behind you, the power behind you would not let it? That's why I say energy that we have to really understand that what's happening is stronger than anything that we can see. It's bigger, it's brighter, and it's louder. So whatever negativity is being put out there, I truly believe there are powers behind this thing. It doesn't matter. If I feel like this thing is so strong, if people need to be removed, they will be removed. If people need to be repositioned, they will be repositioned. People will say things they don't even understand why they're saying it, because what's happening to us and for us was meant to happen. It's 500 years in coming. Come on, ready or not, we're coming home. And I know that there are so many people on the continent excited about that. So regardless of, you know, the naysayers, it doesn't matter, because they're going to change eventually, or, you know, what's going to happen is they're going to have to realign themselves forcefully. It's a terrible thing, you know, but we have that. We have to deal with that. I'm just so proud of you guys. I'm happy that you're taking the position that you're taking. Understand that it's hard, especially, you know, I wish more of the diasporans that were coming, that were in the Gambia or anywhere on the continent would lend their voices and stand by you guys. That's why, even though I'm not there yet and I haven't been there yet, I'm going to stand by you, because I know what you're doing is not just going to benefit your family. You're doing this for all of our families, you know, and not just our families, but for our ancestors that were taken. And somebody, I was listening to somebody, I can't remember the conversation, but they were talking about, you know, us coming home, wanting to get citizenship. And then they slipped and said something about how, yeah, you know, they're our grandparents. And he's like, no, not our grandparents, their grandparents. And I'm like, no, buddy. I was talking to the YouTube and I'm like, no, your grandparents. You don't know if that was your grandparent. Because, you know, just the fact that I was able to connect with, you know, Arthur Jackson in the Gambia, I have family. So that means that we shared a grandparent. We shared a grandparent. No, it's not just clarity.
Okay, it's online.
Well, we shared a grandparent.
It's online.
Sorry, are you wanting to talk, or?
Yes.
Gillian, you wanting to talk?
Well, I'm not going to be staying long. I have to go now. But, I just wanted to show some love.
I just had noise in the background, so I was wondering what was going on.
Oh.
Okay, carry on, Gina, and then everyone can jump in.
Okay, well,
Hello?
bye guys.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Gillian.
Okay. So what was your contribution to today's discussion? Are you automatically African? There's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I've just human
Can you
clarity.
hear me?
I can hear you, Gillian. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? This
Yes.
is Gillian.
Hi, Gillian. We can hear you.
Yeah. I just want to say, hi, good evening to everyone. BlaXit. Yeah, I know you guys doing a great job.
Thank you.
Julian, are there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you too.
We go on. Continue.
Okay, today is Juneteenth in the U.S., which was from 1865 when the slaves were being freed.
Yeah, we were mentioning that is tomorrow.
Yeah, carry on.
She keeps cutting out.
And they trying to President Biden signed it into law yesterday, which gave it a federal holiday.
Oh,
But the whole thing about this is the slaves were being freed and they didn't even know that they were free like a year or 2 years later.
Yeah.
And which was in Texas, and which this whole thing started. But if we realize right now is that there's the exodus going on. Our people are already moving. The exodus is started.
Yes, it has. Yeah, we keep coming.
And it's nobody to stop it. We are the Hebrew children. We are the Hebrew children. And the Almighty already said that He's going to take His children from the four corners of the earth and take them back where they belong.
Oh, she's breaking up.
I think
we're breaking up a lot.
Yeah, try and come back in. Come back in again.
Okay, you want me to start over?
Yeah, try and come back in again.
Okay, you want me to go out and come back?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Human Clarity, I don't know if you're ready to talk. I'd like to thank you.
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'd like to thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I just want to thank you. Get a chance to thank you because I was talking to another person.
Okay, well, I wanted to say good evening to Adrian and yourself.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, brother?
I'm very well. I'm speaking to you from the UK. and basically pardon?
We can tell by your accent.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I would like to think that I was not from the UK, but unfortunately, I obviously I was I should say I'm privileged enough to be in the UK. I'm only joking, by the way. But anyway, I just want to say that I was born in Ghana, right? My
Wow.
mom is my mom is Indian and my father is Ghanaian, right? So I'm always on the fence in regards to, you know, when I watch you guys shows, and I obviously you guys do all the Black Power stuff and all this other stuff that you guys do, you know what I mean? And I always wanted to ask this question. So, you know, when you was in London, you lived alongside with obviously Asians, Chinese, whatever they may be, right?
Yes.
Would you agree that they're all under the banner of ethnicity?
What I would say is that I think in England there's color banding. There's color banding because you might see someone who's Asian and you don't know what ethnicity they are. You might see someone who looks like they're from Thailand, but you're not sure. But there's color banding. And I think there's more color banding than there is about ethnicity, because they only mention ethnicity when you're filling out an application form, or you're going to a doctor's, or you're in a hospital. That is when you see the ethnicity monitoring forms. And then they have things on the monitoring form like, you know, white, but then they'll have Black British, Black Caribbean, Black African, and then they break it down. But when they've just got white or white Irish, that's it. So I think that, yeah, it's more about color barring and color branding in there.
Yeah, but I appreciate that. Obviously, you've answered that part, but I wanted to ask you as well. You know, as you guys have gone back to Gambia, right? And I'm sure you guys are enjoying yourselves and all that, right? You see, and you see, when I hear all this Black Power and all this stuff, it's all good. I mean, we all know slavery happened.
Why do you say this stuff when you say Black Power?
But in Africa, people are just Africans. There is no color.
I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
Why do you say this stuff when you say Black Power?
Okay, the reason why I use the word "this stuff," right, is because obviously I'm referring to.
It seems to marginalize it and lessen it, and I think
you want to emphasize it, right?
So many of our ancestors died, you know.
But before due respect, they died, but we did not go through that separation. Before due respect.
I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old you are.
I'm 45 years old.
Yeah, I'm older than you, and I certainly did. Wait a minute, Adrian.
Brother.
Yes.
When you say we did not go through that separation, what you're talking about, please?
When what, sorry?
When you said we did not go through that separation, elaborate a bit more.
Okay, when you're talking about slavery, right? We did not physically go on any ships and get transported from one place to the next. But if you're talking about racial profiling in regards to how the police will see you in a Western country and deal with you in a certain way, then yeah, we did suffer that. You know what I mean? I suffered that even being here. But at the same time, me suffering that being here, that has nothing to do with slavery.
Listen,
in regards to what I go through today,
brother.
Yes.
Slavery is what brought us in the here and now. You okay? So let's stop polishing around this.
Listen, I want to jump in.
Wait. Let me just. You have institution that built off the back of slavery. The same institution that crippled us today.
We know that, but
wait, brother. You cannot look. You have to look at even the after effects.
Wait. I want to jump in and say something.
Yeah, the after effects is what we're here with now, which was a direct result of slavery. The after effects of slavery financially cripple us as Black people. Yeah. The after effects of slavery have us fighting and tearing each other down with the exact words that you're using now. You know, what you're talking about physical, the trauma still remain here. The trauma of slavery is still here, and it has been passed down. We still looked upon as second-class citizenship, just as how we were looked upon in the days of slavery. So you
Yeah,
cannot
but that's
come
in the West.
now. It's one process coming down. You cannot disconnect the fact that Lloyd's Banking Group is a high established institution that was built off the back of your ancestors' slavery and your ancestors' demise. You can't disconnect from that. You can't disconnect that the Queen of England had made billions from the slave trade. You can't disconnect that so that you wasn't that because we wasn't physically part of it. What are you talking about, brother?
Okay, let me say something.
Okay. Go on, sister. Sister, go on. Are you there, sister?
Yeah, I want to ask this question. I want to ask this question to everybody on the panel, because the gentleman just said that he physically didn't what he was not on a slave ship because he don't understand. Do anyone understand what is the stock exchange?
Well said.
Sis, go on, yeah. Sister.
The stock market. What is the stock and what is the bond?
Thank you.
Okay, the stock is the people, the bond is the certificate. So you actually stating that you actually stating that you actually didn't go through being on a slave ship. You've been sold every day on the stock market. You have a social security number and you don't even know that you have been sold every day on the stock market.
It's true. Yeah, your line keeps breaking, but I'll talk in between the pauses. Actually, I did it. I went on to, I think it was the Treasury's website, the American government's Treasury website, which I think is the IRS one. And I put in the number, and I put in the one for the UK, and I put in my birth certificate number, and I tried it, and I could see the value of each one of my bonds. One of the bonds was like, I think I called it E-class bond, and it was like $57,000. There was another bond. Anyone can do it. In fact, I'll try and find the link and then maybe share it on the community page so you can all go and see the value. Just get your birth certificate and then put your birth certificate number in, and you'll see the value that you've been traded for. And I was trying to claim back that money in the UK, but unfortunately,
right,
I wasn't able to, and then I kind of left to come here. So you're very right.
Yes. Yes. Right. And what people don't understand, right, and what people don't understand is that and that's why I brought it up, because the gentleman is stating that he did not go to slavery. He don't realize that he's still being a slave right now because he's been sold every day.
Exactly. And what you're saying is absolutely true, because not only did I look at that, but I also, if you remember rightly, in a previous program that we did, we talked about the Lloyds of London when they did their apology for their involvement in slavery. Then we looked at the pathetic package that they put together.
And we all need to understand it, okay?
When you look at the sugar companies, Just look at Tate and Lyle. Look at all of the sugar companies that have benefited from slavery. Look at all of them. Look at all of the liquor companies. Look at the cotton. Look at the Industrial Revolution. That would never have happened if it wasn't for the enslavement of our ancestors for hundreds of years. And so when you live in the UK or you live in the US or any other part of Europe, any of those countries involved, you will know as for a fact that the benefits of slavery, I did a program on this. So I'd like the brother to go back and to watch the program that we made showing the connection, financial connection to slavery. And not only that, you've got to remember that the slave owners were paid out. They were paid compensation. And he himself, if he's 45 years old, he has been paying that compensation back through the treasury for the loss of their enslaved Africans, their so-called property. And that is still going on. I thought it stopped in 2015, but I stand corrected when someone sent me an article explaining that it's actually still ongoing. And so I want to, obviously, I met Professor David, oh gosh, I forgot his surname, in Sierra Leone. I think if you remember, I did a program and I showed him, and he was the one that highlighted the issue about the tax payments, and he did a series of programs. And in those programs, he highlighted it. Also, Catherine, pass me that book there, please. My book. Yes. Yeah, pass it for me, please, son. And also in this book, you know, this man needs to go and read this book. You know, this is by Professor Kehinde Andrews, and it's called The New Age of Empire. You need to go read, bruv. Yeah? Go and read this and understand the depth of it. We have enough professors. We have enough educators who understand the process. Both of the people that I mentioned, yeah? Both of the people that I mentioned have researched this area. And so let me explain something to you. If you think that you're out of slavery and that you're totally free, I want you to do something for me, okay? I want you to go and I want you to ask back for the money that they sold you for on your bond, on your birth certificate. I want you to go and ask for a refund back on that money, and I want to see what they tell you, yeah? Because you're still owned, yeah, you cannot even buy back your own freedom. How is that? And that's in 2021, yeah? The Federal Reserve, there we go, insert more information. In the US, the Federal Reserve has regional banks, depending on the code on your back of your social security card. The code on your birth certificate is your individual value, and it's categorized, and race is part of it. So that's what I'm saying. I think people don't realize.
Right. And then another thing that actually goes on.
Yeah. We've lost you again.
Is that, like you were saying with the social security number, the two numbers in the middle identify your race. Okay, so anytime you see a 6-6, you know you're in the black race. A 6-9, and the UK also have it with your INS number, but what they do,
I'm going to talk while you come in and out, so just jump in on me when you come back. I think that, like I said, this is where also where we started with the program, when I was saying that
they hide it. through your treasury, which they use into gold. They use it into coins also.
Yeah. As there's the pause, I'm just going to ask everyone, go and buy this book. I'm going to try and see if I can ask Kendi Andrews to come onto the show to maybe discuss his books. He's got this one and another book. And also, so does Professor David as well, who I met. But these books have got really, really good references in them. Yeah. And it talks about settler colonization and genocide. It breaks it down because you can't forget the past while it's still happening. What happened in America and what happens in the UK, because so many people have died. I remember when I was, where was we, Age, when we heard about his cousin. Remember the one who died in Hackney in the shop where he was strangled to death on the floor by the policeman? Yeah?
Leo.
No, that Leo Hammers, no, that's his nephew was shot in his head. The other one. There are so many cases, you see, that's what I'm saying. And this young boy was strangled to death, you know, and he had a young child, early 20s, you know, on the shop floor in Hackney, which is not the way anybody should lose their life. But this is happening. So if you think that it's happening because you're not black, yeah, or maybe because you're not full black, you don't see yourself as full black, you might think that you're immune to racism, or maybe because you think that, you know, you're partly of African descent, that you're immune and you have somewhere else to go. But we are here on the continent, and this is one of the things that we have to do. We have to work on a sensitization program. Sis?
So. You continue.
Yeah, can you hear me, sis? Yeah, I'll put the StreamYard up back again. I'm going to put the StreamYard back up again. But I'd just like to say that, you know, there's no disrespect intended, yeah? But I just want to read a small section from the book, yeah, which is called Genocide. And it's in, sorry, with the board on, yeah? Yeah. Right, there's so many parts in this book that are so powerful. But he said, in the wake of protests following the murder of George Floyd, statues of Christopher Columbus became a target. Across United States, monuments were beheaded, vandalized, torched, and even torn down entirely. The anger at Columbus shows the power he still holds in the psyche of the nation, as does President Trump. His 4th of July speech celebrating the Italian as the person who discovered America. The reverence for Columbus has a long history, particularly in Colorado, which is where Columbus National Holiday celebrations first started. In 2016, Denver City Council announced they would be celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day rather than marking Columbus Day. This came as a result of decades of activism. Notably, in 1992, when minutes before it was due to start, the Columbus Day parade had to be cancelled because 500 protesters descended onto the scene.
Jump in, happy companion.
Okay, let me jump. Let me put it on the screen.
Yeah, you could jump inside, happy companion.
So someone's just said that Jackie, hi Jackie AQ. She said it's so annoying that this guy said it's a total disrespect to the tragic legacy faced by our people through the result. What I'm going to do is do that. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to just continue moving on. I want us to stay positive, you know, tonight. I'm going to put the connector on so you can come and join in. So there's the link for you can join. So human clarity, we've got your take on things, and we'll just leave it right there for tonight's show, because it's not really what the content of the show was about. So we'll leave it just there.
Where is you put up the link?
Yeah, I did. I already did. No, it was. Look, just leave it there. Look, let me do it, because I was just putting it on the screen.
That's it.
Yeah. So the focus of today's show was about, we don't have Black Power stuff. When I think about the people, no, just please click. No, you can't do that, because I have to do it for everybody. So when I think about the Black Panthers and what they went through, yeah. When I think about Marcus Garvey and what he went through, when I think about Kim Pavita and what she went through, when we talk about Nana of the Maroons and what they all went through, when we talk about human clarity, we're finished with your contribution, but thank you. Thank you for making a contribution. But we're going to move on to some more people who have got a voice. And so I think that we've got to really look at all of our female warriors as well who fought against this. But we can't forget the millions and millions of people who died, you know, as a result of enslavement, whose lineage was stopped. They weren't able to have children. They weren't able to continue their legacy. And they had a horrific death. And I think we cannot ever forget that. Not one day, not 1 second, not 1 minute. We cannot afford to do that. It's a great disrespect to our ancestors. And no other nation disrespects their ancestors. No other nation forgets their past. And we shouldn't either. What do you think?
You can't. You can't. Sister, are you there? Just
wait, I was trying to do it, but you hadn't put me away.
What are you doing?
No, I'm trying to. I blocked him. Okay, so Dula said there was over 9 million dead in the sea. And I think, like I said, many of us are confused. And we're living in the West, and we think because we live in the West, oh, everything's over, we're okay, you know. But I want us all to think about the daily incidents that happen to us in the West, about the incidents, the killings, the murders, the police-sanctioned killings that happen. I watch other channels. I watch loads of other channels, you know, when I get a chance. And sometimes when I see some of the comments, I just sit down and I cry. Sometimes when I see what happens to other people, I sit down and I cry. Yeah? Someone has made a very great comment here, and I just want to read it. This is Crenshaw Grinder. Read it from your age.
It was a distraction. The condition of African people around the world is prima facie evidence that we have an issue which must be resolved by our unity of mind. So, exactly. So, people, I do for the brother that came on, it trying to stop the flow of positive energy. We will move on. We will move on. We do get this sometimes, you know, and we don't need to pay it much mind. So let's just move on, keep the positive flow going. You understand? Because anyone come and start disrespect the ancestors in that way, we can't be dealing with, you know. Because sometimes I wonder who send these people, you know. But we keep it positive now. We move on. You understand? He was just a distraction, as I said. and we don't want to spend too much time on him. Happy Companion, can you jump in, please? Jump in, please. Put up the stream, yeah.
I've already done it twice.
Yeah, jump in, Happy Companion, yeah? Not on the stream.
No, he can get it. He does it for his own. Yeah.
So yeah, so people we do apologize for that little negativity that just come in. Mm-hmm.
Where's it gone?
But we will move on. Sorry, we'll just go into some comments and then we'll be back. So as I say
now you could think about I disrespect me all the time.
Gillian, can you hear us? Gillian.
No disrespect.
Gillian.
If you don't call the woman, you call her, and all that kind of thing. Them things they go there, go on 8 years of live, and here come the shit that keep going.
Someone say some words.
She come back and I will fuck her up. Trust me.
Ooh, sorry about that. We're just going to leave it there for a second. Right. And anyway, yeah, I just want to say, I mean, we're going to wind up the show. But I would like to say thank you to, oh, Gillian's back. Gillian. Gillian do ramp, one.
Yeah, me just there, man. Me no ramp in a star.
Yeah, we a word of trouble. Gillian. Where's she going again? No. Hopefully Gillian will be back and we can continue the conversation. But yes, we were talking about
what is
yeah, me there. Sorry, Blacksit, sorry.
If I capture people, but also find
yeah, but the next time.
It's
okay.
Yeah, the next time you have the show on the slavery with the stocks and bond, I would like to come in because I have a lot of information.
No, go with it. I'm here. We want to learn. So, you know, the floor is yours. Go ahead. Gillian, I think, I don't know what's going on with her mic. But let's flow anyway. Let's just keep going. Yeah, we can go back to that topic afterwards. But the fact of the matter is that age.
Back to the visit of the president. That's what was important.
Well, yeah, we were talking about our identity, and so, the theme of the topic is that I wasn't born in Africa. Africa was born in me.
Yes, as I was saying, those people who deny slavery will doom to repeat it. You understand? And coming back here to the motherland, it made me realize that we have work to do among ourselves. You know, we have work to do. We have to run through some educational programs. You understand? It's part of our responsibility too. You know, to go sit down with our brothers and sisters in the villages, you know, maybe refresh their minds with some of the stories. Even show them roots.
That's what we're gonna do, isn't it?
Yeah, show them roots so they understand where we're coming from. You know, because remember, Kunta Kinte and all of them refused to leave the motherland, but they was taken against their will. But we are returning. You know, as I keep telling them, we're not coming back from luxury, we're coming back from slavery. It doesn't matter. And people keep selling out the misconception that slavery was 400 years ago. That's a misconception. Slavery started over 400 years ago. But slavery ended up until the 19th century. You see, so we have to understand that as well. It's not the 400 years ago. Up until the 19th century, people were still enslaved and got their freedom. Yeah? So we have to come with the facts straight. You just have to go back 4 generations in the Caribbean, and that was the slave trade.
Yeah.
You know? So let's keep focused. And right now we are making moves in the motherland. We are working so that we all realize that we are one people, one unity. Listen, we as black people, you know, we spend a lot of money in the West. It's just that we don't realize it. We're the only race that money doesn't circulate in our community. So we to them is the biggest commodity. They can't afford to lose us. And we're the one that's spending. When you look at some of the shops in Indian Square, they sell more stuff that's for black people. Because we're the largest consumers. You understand? So for them to look at us coming back home now, taking money out of the Western world and bringing it home, for us to come here and spend in Africa, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. You know? They want us, the black man, to be empowered. You look at the turnover for black people in America. You're talking about trillions per annum. That's how we spend. You understand? So do you think the West really want to see that money coming out? When they look at Ghana, Ghana is an example of what we can do when we come together. Ghana made over 1.9 billion in a year of return. I remember that money is not owed to the West. Because if the West is going to give Ghana or any other African country that money, they cripple them. They cripple them with taxes on that money and interest. So that money should have been an example to a lot of the African countries to realize that they don't have to be out there with a begging basket. If we work together, we can do it. As I was listening to Prince Nana Kwame from Ghana, and he said that black people sitting on gold are still looking for gold.
Yes.
And this is how mad it is. You're sitting on a gold mine, but you're still searching for gold. It just don't make no sense. You see? So the work that we got to do is first mental. We have to get ourselves right. We have to get our brain right. You understand? Because this is what they use. They use a lot of things to distract us and to brainwash us. So we have to start getting that right. It's not an easy thing. As when Marcus Garvey did said to Roosevelt, I think it was Roosevelt said to Marcus Garvey, right? It's gonna take you over 1,000 years to undo the damage we done to black people. And Marcus Garvey said to him, no, just give me 50 years unmolested. And that's what they cannot do. So now they see us moving back home. They realize if we move back home, they're not going to be able to molest us anymore. And trust me, they're doing their best to stop it from happening. So my people come home and they're using people looking like us to create the problems.
Yeah, but
People
another thing that we
right
have
now.
to understand is that the exodus start and it's not going to stop.
It can't stop now. It start and the influx of people coming home, right? It is more than any time in history.
Yes.
It's happening now, and we have to keep moving.
Keep moving.
But remember,
that's what the president said.
Yes, the president said, listen, if you can't fly, you run. If you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. And if we can move, whatever you do, move, keep going forward. You see? And this is what we have to do. You know, we got to work, and we got to progress. But right now, it's people that are looking like us. It's people that even come and spit Pan-Africanism. They're the problem too. You see, we see many of them. But let's move. Let's keep moving. We learn from Marcus Garvey. We learn from Malcolm X. We learn from Martin Luther King. We learn from them.
We learn from Mrs. Garvey. Amy
Yes.
Garvey.
We learn from Kim Pavita. We learn from Yes Antwa.
Yeah.
We learn from what the lady name that freed the enslaved people.
Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman. You understand? We learn from Yes Antwa. These are people that we're supposed to have on our walls. Because these are people that stand up and give us this little freedom we think we have today. We learn from Nelson Mandela. We learn from Jomo Kenyatta.
Stephen Biko.
Stephen Biko. You know, Kwame Nkrumah.
Thomas Sankara.
Thomas Sankara. Magufuli. We learn from all
Julius
these people.
Nyerere.
We learn from the Rastafarians.
PLO Lumumba.
Because the Rastafarians too was very instrumental in this move coming back home.
Yes.
We learn from the Bubble Dread because they to go out there instrumental in this movement back home.
Yes.
So we have to respect the Rastafarians as well. Because the Rastafarians keep it going.
Yes.
And we can't disrespect them.
Yes.
Because they work and their dedication to Mother Africa, you understand, was great. Before I was born, they were doing it. And we have to respect those who come here too. And work and trying to get citizenship for them people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have one problem. We always try to just work in silos than working together. And we got to get that little bit, work together. As Bob Marley said, how good and how pleasant it would be to see the unification of all Africans. You see?
Yes.
Let's work. Let's work together. Or if we can't work together in unity, let's have race loyalty.
Let's have race loyalty.
You see? Because race loyalty is very important as well.
Yes. Even when I think about warriors, and I think about I don't know when Nelson was locked up, what was it like for Winnie? Yeah.
Yes.
And Winnie, we don't talk about Winnie.
Sorry, I didn't even mention Winnie.
I got to talk about Winnie because Winnie was there on the front line fighting. Winnie was also incarcerated. Winnie was also accused of crimes that she did not commit. Yeah. And there is so many others, but you know, we must also tribute this program to the late great Kenneth, the foremost president of Zambia, and also to Magufuli, and to all of the greats that have just passed, and to those Pan-Africans which have just recently also been fatally injured, including Sasha and our very personal colleague, and we support him, and Abatumi TV. So we want to put the link out there on the community page for you to support. He was involved in an unfortunate collision in a car with his family in Ghana.
No, he wasn't in the car.
Sorry?
He wasn't in the car.
Well, he wasn't in the car, but his family was.
The family was, yeah.
The family was in the car.
Let's extend our healing powers to Dr. Kamban family. You know, that was in a terrible crash. You know, yes, let's extend, and we, you know, even a minute silence for Magufuli and all those that have passed, that done great works for us. You know, yes, and even right now, our live heroes.
Yes.
You understand? Because listen, all of this here, BlaXit, we owe it to Ward Maya.
Yes.
We owe it to a young Pan-Africanist Watermeyer.
Yes.
Because Watermeyer is the one that started us.
Yes.
So we have to give respect to Watermeyer. We see as a young man how we traveling to Africa and showing the beauty of the African continent.
That's right.
His many challenges Watermeyer grow. And he done that and he's not selfish.
No.
You understand? So we have to give respect to him. Our young brother right now in Rwanda, Usman Toure. Those guys are like, those guys coming here to change the reality.
Fanny Luhama, Constance Cummings, John are queens too. Yeah.
PLO Lumumba.
Definitely PLO Lumumba.
Halifa Sallah, the Honorable Halifa Sallah.
Oh, definitely Honorable Halifa Sallah.
The words from their mouth is like sword. You know, it must penetrate you. You know, we have enough MPs here that's supporting the cause as well.
Yes.
Honorable Seko Morong.
Yes.
Honorable Solomon Seho.
Yes.
Honorable Majanko.
Yes.
Samusa. All of these here, they're championing for us to have our citizenship. They're working hard. You know?
And we got to
Dr. Molana.
Yes.
Molana in Ghana.
Dr. Molana.
He put so much work in and he gave us so much advice. He's one of our coaches, he's one of our teachers. He was the one that set it off in Ghana for the year of return. So Dr. Malana, Dr. Kambon, these guys are pioneers.
Noble Drew Ali.
You know? So we have to always respect
Julius Malema.
Our warriors that stand up out there on the front line. Some lost their lives.
Many.
Many of them just to bring us to where we are today. Julius Malema, yes, he's another king of Africa.
Mugabe.
You know? Robert Mugabe. We can't forget this, man. We can't. You know, the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame. Respect to him because he repelled how many? Well, yes, we could pick up Dr. Sister Arikana. Yes, pick her up. Because they're out there standing up. They're out there fighting. Susan Tata. All of them out there doing the work for the enlightenment of us as black people. Let's remember our forerunners.
The Panthers.
Peter Tosh. Who could forever forget Peter Tosh? Jacob Killamilla. Go on, Joe.
So many. But I'm going to close up. So we're going to be going now. But wow, we stand on great shoulders. We bow below them with respect. Because without them, where would we be today? I probably wouldn't even be in Africa. I want to give credit to, you know, my parents, because without them, I wouldn't be here. And my dad was a Pan-Africanist. He was a Rasta man. And so he instilled the repatriation, go back to Africa in us. And we shouldn't forget, you know, our ancestors. So I'm going to close up. Adrian's just popped off. Just by saying thank you to everybody that contributed to the show. I've forgotten the name of the man that called in. Yeah, I think we'll rest it there. I think we can raise your issues in another show to talk about people that have, you know, come from different backgrounds. And we can also discuss that on how they feel. Like you said, you felt like you're sitting on a fence. And I was reading about white fragility. I don't know if anybody's read that book or has seen reference to it. And that is about how people deal with racism. And they don't acknowledge it, or they internalize it, but they do nothing about it. Or they pretend that it's not there because it's convenient for them to keep their privilege, keep their control, and keep their power. And so for us, we have to keep moving forward with our warriors. And so I just want to say Bobby E. Wright, Dr. Francis Cress-Welsing, Dr. Joy DeGroy, so many of our greats. We can big them up and we can give them support. All of the queens, Queen Candice, so many. So, like I said, moving forward, let's not forget this book as well. Yeah, The New Age of Empire, very good book, by Kehinde Andrews. If you haven't got a copy, please order one. It's a very good book.
Yes, Runko, Rashid, all of them, big them up, big them up, big them
Rashid,
up.
Malcolm X, of course, Malcolm X, 100%.
Big all of them.
100%.
We remember you.
Let's
To
remember
all
all
our
of
fallen
our,
soldiers.
yes.
We miss you.
Listen, I got Dr. Nobles and Dr. Abakar. There are so many people that have contributed to our lives. Some are less known and others are more known. But I will say it doesn't matter. It's our time. And I started with this book because everybody knows you likes to read. I'm forever reading, but it was about the Songhai Empire. And I was telling you that we were talking about the different kingdoms between 1750 and 950. We're talking about the kingdoms that were around even before that time. And the one thing I will say is that it shows you that we have been around for so many centuries and we are still here. So before Africa was even broken up into these fake borders created by a group of racists under the so-called Berlin Convention in 1885 and 1884, we had a history, a long, long history. And this doesn't mean that we have to remain the way it is now. It's time for us to change things, and we can change things. We are the agents of change. We are change makers. And so in the AU, they proposed that by 2063, there should be no more borders and we should be one Africa. I propose you support that move. I also put a post out to remind you all that this is the decade of African roots in the diaspora. So let's work together so that the whole of Africa can automatically see us as Africans. All of us African descendants, we are automatically seen as Africans throughout the whole of the continent, and that we have the right to return, and that we can go through a 2-year residency in any of those countries and then apply for citizenship once we decide to live there permanently. So after the 2-year program of integration, simulation, and initiation. If you agree with that and you think it's a great idea, come on, support us, get involved. Go to blaxithome@gmail.com and email us. No, leave that, please. So we're going to close. Just going to have a look at some talk in a private chat quickly. See some messages there. Okay, you're in. Okay, so it's from Jamilia. Okay, what we'll do is take a snapshot of that. You've got your phone, the number.
That's not a number.
Yeah, it's a number. It's a Gambian number.
Oh.
Or American number.
Just about my number.
Okay. Check this number. Jamelia in the private chat, and then we'll see you before Thursday. So hopefully maybe Monday you can come meet us in Bigelow. So there's the number to arrange time. So there's a message there for you in the private chat.
Yes, and BlaXit family, you all are part of this too. You know, because of your why we're going. So you all are part of this revolutionary change. You know, you all are a big part of this too. You know, and Gambia, His Excellency Adam Obama, he gonna go down in history.
Definitely.
He's gonna be a pioneer.
I want to say his last saying before we go.
His Excellency Adam Obama.
Yes.
Yes.
And I said he's an intelligent and humble man, and I stand by it.
Yes.
He's an intelligent and humble man, and I stand by it because I meant it. This is the man I met. No one asked me to say it. No one paid me to say it. No one cajoled me into saying it. And I'm not saying it to get a passport.
No.
Yeah, I'm saying it because it's true. And this is the man that I met. So one of the things he said, which I think an intelligent person would say, is that no one can take your Africanness away from you. And I want that to go down in history. Take that quote, my family, put his picture by it, make some memes. Let's show what this man said. Yeah, His Excellency Adam Barrow, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, said, no one can take your Africanness away from you. So let's not resign it. Let's not give it up. Let's not sell it short.
Yes.
Let's be proud Africans moving forward. And everywhere in Africa, everybody on the continent, I want you to remember that we are your brothers and sisters and we are Africans too. And no one has more of a right to Africa than Africans. And we are Africans too. So BlaXit family, yeah. Jahari said it's not about a passport because we can go anywhere in the world with our UK and US passports, and people need to get that straight. What it is about our integration, assimilation, and initiation.
Regaining our culture,
regaining our family, regaining our language.
Bringing the spirits of our ancestors
regaining
back
our
home.
dignity.
Yes, bringing the DNA of our ancestors back home. You understand? They are proud of what we are doing
Williams. Yeah.
So many, I see many names coming up there. All of these people are great pioneers.
Chancellor D. Williams, definitely.
We have to respect them. We must respect them.
Benjamin, Dr. Ben, Henry Clark, Dr. Henry Clark, yeah.
Even Gambia,
Banyaka.
Gambians, you done some good thing. Even the Homecoming Roots Festival, that had gave us hopes. You understand? So, you know, we have to give power where power due.
Oh, most
respect
definitely.
where respect due. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
So BlaXit family, one love. Peace out. We're done. End of the show. We wish you a great week till we see you again on the live next week. Like we said, I wasn't born in Africa, but Africa was born in me. Adrian?
Same thing. And I have to just use the words of His Excellency. Yeah? You cannot take our Africanness away
from us.
Yes, and he also said you have a right to return home. Yes, if that's your choice, you have a right to return home. Yeah? I'll big up again.
Okay, thanks for your support.
Thank you.
Please remember to try and support BlaXit. We've got a lot of projects going on in the community, and your support goes towards helping those projects. So please remember to try and support. And I thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for being a part of the BlaXit family. Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, all of them. Everybody, I salute you. And all of you, Catherine Cleaver, so many people. I just want to thank you all.
And many Gambians that support us from the West, like Brother Sam, wherever you are, pick up yourself, Sam.
Yes.
Because you've been with us. Bode, you've been with us. Eto.
Muta Baruka.
You know, Muta Baruka, Vital, all of you put in your time.
Yes. Keba Kamara.
Seth himself. Keba Kamara. I would like to thank you all. You all been there, rock solid with BlaXit. You know, many of you.
And to shake you up.
And to those that we haven't mentioned, you know, thank you all. You know,
thank you.
One love family.
One love. Me too.